Back on Assetto Corsa EVO. The updates have came out, guys. We've now got licenses, and I just wanted to have a quick run through to see what we have got with the entry sports car, supercar, hypercar, and all the race licenses, where of course we're going to have to obtain them to advance in the game. Quick walkthrough today, blasting through the early sets here. We want to drive, we want to make our XP, we want to earn credits in game to buy some cars. Let's start the journey, guys. Not done all too much Assetto Corsa EVO. Maybe going to do some more in the channel, on the channel in the videos coming up. But we're here. We're going to buy our first car for today: a Barth, Alfa Romeo, Ford, Honda, Hyundai, or a Volkswagen. What is the lineup we've got? We've got the 695 Abarth. Kind of got a soft spot for that car. Escort Cosworth, Mark 8 Golf GTI, Alfa Romeo Junior, and the i30N hatchback. An interesting selection of cars here, but I'm going to be going with the Honda S2000, a car childhood favourite of mine. I think it's only right that we do go with the Honda S2000 for the early purchase in the game so far. 26,000 to 34,000 credits it's going to be. It was a toss-up between this and the Escort Cosworth, but has in fact gone with the S2000. Now, of course, I think I'm going to keep it here in the fantastic yellow colour. Still trying to get used to navigating the camera rotation here on Assetto Corsa EVO, but yeah. Early 2000s, yellow S2000, absolutely iconic as far as I'm concerned. In terms of configurations, not a lot to go with this so far. We can change the colour of the car, we can change the colour of the interior. Not a lot really to do there. And again, the wheels, it's the Euro wheels or the US wheels is the kind of option that we've got so far. Limited options, but it is in early release. A lot of people still not realising that so far. With all that being said, we're kind of going to leave the car in the EU build that we've got in front of us. Quite happy with what we've got there. Now, with the new menu, we do now have the unlocked licenses section. When we do dive into the licenses, we can see that we've got a whole range that we've got to work through here. With the sports car, we've got 5 separate licenses we've got to work through here. Supercar, again, we're going to have another additional 5 different licenses to obtain. Hypercar, absolutely no different there. We can see just the variety that we've got here, and this is exactly what I wanted to see come from the game. Early feels of Gran Turismo, getting the licenses all the way up through Racing 1, 2 and 3. They don't appear like they're going to be the hardest licenses to obtain. We know we can get them with 1 star all the way up to 3 stars, so there's a grind process here. A whole variety of cars that we're going to be trying out here, but today kind of going to focus in on the sports car licenses, starting off with the Audi RS3. Now, I don't love the noise this car makes. It feels like late 90s, early 2000s audio. I'm going to put that to one side. It is, as I mentioned, early access, but it's an Audi RS3. It's going to be fun to play about with. It's going to be quite fun to handle this thing. Let's turn that volume down a little bit, up into the first hairpin, and that's obviously going to be the focus of this test. Not quite catching an apex there, not making a good job of it whatsoever, but an easy enough test, guys. If you haven't yet got Assetto Corsa EVO, I would recommend that these little tests are what I want to see in game. Coming out of that one with 1 star, push forward to the Escort Cosworth, where we're going to be doing some L turns, some turns essentially there. It's nothing too difficult, but the Escort Cosworth, obviously a favourite, a pinnacle of motorsport, will launch the Escort off the line. A lot of rake with that thing back and forward. I like to see it. Can we make a good effort of the left-hander here? The back end totally stepping out there. A huge power slide, but critically we never got any penalty for going wide on the right-hand side there. So overall, we're not too bad out the gate here. Into the first left-hander, getting very unsettled in the Escort. Big slide to the left. Managing just to keep that one on track. Not making a good effort whatsoever, but I am still on controller. Trying to see what this game's like on controller before I do move over to the wheel, where we know we're going to be fantastic on that. Anybody will make a huge improvement on Assetto Corsa EVO going on to a steering wheel over the controller. Second license there, very easily attained. Again, just a 1 star for that one. On to the third one in the Alpine A290, electric car on a fast corner. You guys should know my feelings by now. I don't like using electric cars in game for one very, very, very specific reason. This one right here. There's no noise, it doesn't fill me with any form of enjoyment. We need internal combustion as far as I'm concerned in race cars. The Alpine A290 though, it's an interesting one. They have just arrived at the local dealership. I did just see the post at the weekend along with the Renault 5. I like the car as a whole, I like the concept, just not in a racing game. But the challenge we've got right here is an electric car with fast corners. Corner 1, not too much of a challenge. Corner 2, big step out of the back end there. We do get a track cut penalty with that one. But it is what it is, an electric car. I just want this test over and done with. I don't want to be in an electric car on a racing game. Again, another 1-star attempt there. Moving on to some ICE with the Toyota GR86, where we've got some rear-wheel drive challenges. Always a bit of a challenge in Assetto Corsa EVO, even more so on a controller. What have we got in store for this one? Well, let's have a quick look. How's the GR 86 going to launch? I imagine it's going to be quite leery off the line. Yeah, that back end did step out just a little bit, but overall, never done too badly with that one. We'll put the power down, push up the hill here, need to get wide to the left, cut back across the right, just take out some of that curb. Done alright with that one. Can we pick our braking zone on the last marker? We do just get that one. Cut the corner just a little bit, push wide, managing to hold that track quite well. It feels like we've done alright. Again, we're on controller, we're going to be leaving a little bit of time on the table here. I'm only looking to get 1-star with these ones. I'm not trying to challenge myself all too much in the early part. Round the last right-hander we get, oh dear, the back end does step out in the GR86. We do manage just to keep it on track, cross the line for another 1-star on the licence. Last one up here, we're going to have show us the lap in the Alpine A110 this time. It's going to be a full lap of Brands Hatch GP. I'm not trying to outperform anybody here, guys. I'm just trying to advance through the licenses as quick as possible in 1-star. I'm going to come back to them 2-star, 3-star. You guys can understand that one. Again, a full lap here of Brands Hatch in the Alpine A110. Launches off the line alright. It's rear-wheel drive, so it's a little bit leery. Into turn 1. Nice and calm into that one. 3rd gear push uphill. Yeah, we could have went a bit wider to the left-hand side, but critical braking zone just there, right on our markers. Car getting a little bit unsettled, missing our apex, but we come out of turn 2 essentially there. Not too bad. Out of the hairpin, downhill. Can we get nice and wide? Cut left, right across there, just managing to touch the bollards and no more. Push wide to the right-hand side and get the power back down. The Alpine, I do like the Alpine, obviously we use it in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Bring it here into Assetto Corsa EVO, it feels like a completely different car. It handles differently, it sounds different, which is pretty cool to see the different dynamics. I don't think the noise of this represents the car in real life, it does sound a bit different. Hopefully that changes when we do get the full release of Assetto Corsa EVO. As we push uphill though into the right-handers, backing off the throttle a little bit, trying to keep it nice and tight to the right-hand side. Drift to the left with the power down, trying to stay off the grass. We do just dip a toe, however. Cut across here, take out those bollards, it's all good, we're not going to get a penalty, and we can fully commit to this next little section. Send it uphill into the right-hander here. I'm going to back off with this one. I don't want to be pushing wide like we did with the Alpine A290. We stay on the track pretty well here, pick our braking zone a little bit early for that one into the left-hander, taking that inside left curb, and we get the power back down once again to push forward. We've got one big critical right-hander coming up to round out a lap of Brands Hatch GP. Can we stay a bit more settled in the GR86? We do invoke a big power slide, but coming out of the power slide, the Alpine so much more manageable than the GR86 was as we push forward to cross the start-finish line and complete out the 5th licence for today's video. Again, the target there was only a 1-star lap, and it's exactly what we've got, completing out the sports car license. And as we can see right at the top of the screen just behind my head here, we do now have the sports car license here in Assetto Corsa EVO. Fantastic. There's a hell of a lot still to get through. Supercar all the way through to race license 3, and again we can come back here and progress to 3 stars for every license. But of course we've had more additions to the game. When we head over to the drive tab, we can see we now have the special events and even more being listed into the game here. There's so much that they've added, and this thing here is still in early release for Assetto Corsa EVO. I'm very excited about it. I would like to do more content on it, but I don't want to drown the channel with it. Maybe just a video 1 week, every 2 weeks, whatever it may be. But so much has been added to this game at the early access. Excited to, kind of progress and work my way through this one, guys. Head on over and check it out. But going to round it out, we of course did buy that Honda S2000 for today's video, and we're going to go and do a quick race here on Brands Hatch Indy. Not too sure why we had to buy a car quite so early. No real reason behind it other than owning a car. Launching the S2000 off the line, we get absolutely clattered from the left and the right with the AI. We obviously know that they don't really launch very well whatsoever. Down into turn 1 with the S2000, I come into this one incredibly cautious. It's very leery, it's a rear wheel drive, it's a 2000s car, it's not the best of handling, but that's exactly why I picked it for this one. Up into the hairpin again, nice and cautious, try to keep it on the apex of the corner there, try to push wide, use that curb on the left, maybe we could have went a bit faster there, we'll find out the next lap. Down into that critical left hander though, we can see we do get a snap of oversteer in the S2000, not handling it all too well. Total different handling dynamic in this game from other games we've been playing, so we've got a lot to learn here, but it's a lot of fun. Now of course we are on the Brands Hatch Indy track this time, it's not the full GP track, so we do cut to the right hand side here. Big sweeping right hander here, trying to keep the S2000 as stable as possible as we come around that big right hander, and it seems like we have pushing a little bit wide to the left here. We could have been a bit closer to the right hand side, it is the quicker way around Brands Hatch Road after all. But completely out lap 1, staying ahead of the rest of the pack, around about 3/10 ahead of Diego there in second place. Back down into turn 1, nice and cautious once again, back up into third gear as we push up towards the hairpin, looking to get our braking zone right there on that check marker. We maybe could have braked a tenth or so later just there, but again nice and tight on that inside apex. Pushing a little bit wider this time, yep, again I think there's still a bit more there, we could probably get on the throttle a little bit earlier, carry a bit more speed around that one. Cleaner downhill into the left hander that time out, no snap of oversteer, fantastic, we love to see it. Still holding 4/10 over the rest of the pack as we do come up into this section. Now I've had a bit of trouble with this section previously in the S2000, the back end wanting to step out, but overall we've been calm and slow, I would say, into that one, learning the handling dynamic of the S2000, and it's been quite good for me so far. Still a bit too wide on the left hand side, I want to be closer to that wall. We can see in the rear view mirror, just below my head here, there is a silver S2000 creeping up. They did launch better out of that right hander. We cut the nose off them into turn 1 as we do come downhill. Second gear, bang up into third as we do push wide on the track, try to carry momentum and our speed uphill. Again, pick our braking zone right in that marker, far better this time out, but we do get a little snap of oversteer, compromising our apex. Can we get the power down a bit earlier? We can indeed. Much earlier than the AI did. Downhill one last time. Can we cut that left-hander a bit tighter? Another snap of oversteer. It's going to hurt us coming out of this one. That silver S2000 in the rear view mirror once again, catching up to the back of our car. But we're going to keep our noses in front here, cut the nose off that silver S2000, left hand into the right hand, take those curbs, and we'll keep the inside line here in case we get dive bombed from that silver S2000. It looks like we've got a good bit of a lead to hold here, 4/10 of a second as we push forward to cross that start finish line. We do push right this time, we do get the fastest line to head up towards the start finish line there in the S2000 to round out an enjoyable win for the first time there in the Honda S2000. That launch again, look at the AI just boxing us in, that was awful. Guys, it's good to be back on Assetto Corsa EVO. As I said, I've not done too many videos on it. I do want to do more content. Of course, it is in early access. We are limited to what we've got, but with them now opening up with all the licenses, with all the special events, there's a hell of a lot to do and digest in Assetto Corsa EVO. I'm going to continue to make videos. They won't be as often as my other videos. They will maybe be once a week, maybe twice a week, maybe even once every 2 weeks. We shall see with the plan going forward. But as always, please do smash the like button, subscribe, tap on the bell, all the usual good stuff, guys. I do appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more updates on Assetto Corsa EVO.